welcome everybody to SPX 2024.
2024. What's funny is you paused there, and you had a problem with that last year. As I edited those videos,
Yes.
you just kept I edited the block was the year. It was bad.
2024.
All right, I'm Joe.
I'm Rusty.
And with us today,
We have
EB, Sciales.
I'm Allie.
welcome.
Thank you so much.
welcome to the hang.
Thanks for having
Yeah.
us.
To be
Thanks
here.
for enduring our technical difficulties, aka
It
setup.
is absolutely all right. We got time.
So,
Fantastic.
what brings you to the Small Press Expo?
Comics.
Excellent answer. I won't say it's
other
the only
It's
right
the best
answer.
reason to come here. Yeah.
It's the place. It's the place.
It's the place to be.
Yeah.
So you guys do comics.
Me too.
We sure do.
Tell us about what you do.
Well, I've been doing comics for most of my life, and a few years ago I went to the Center for Cartoon Studies,
Nice.
and since then I've been working on a graphic novel, which is still not finished. It hopefully
Very
will be
close to
finished
being
soon.
done.
But in the meantime, I've done a bunch of short stories. I have a short story magazine called Mirror Neuron. I've published 2 issues of that, and
Nice.
I'd like to do more. And I have some miscellaneous mini comics, and also I have a book called Ivy's Little Book of Perspective, which is a little anthology of perspective drawing techniques. So it's like a really little reference guide that has all the most useful things I could think of. So.
Those are always so happeful when you can do reference guides to
Yeah,
for
yeah,
other
I
people to
think-
find where they're like, this is exactly what I needed.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a good resource. I really think it
niche
is.
for people, but once they find it, they're like, I cannot let this go.
It's like
Yeah.
niche for the certain people, but vital for those people.
Oh yes.
Yeah, the people who want it
They
want it.
really want it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Tell us about your comics.
Yeah, well, I can't say that I've got a through line through any of my comics, but the main seller at SPX in the past has been I did a comics cookbook with my girlfriend, and it was for her brother's wedding. We did family recipes, and we made them into little comics, and then kind of made this into a little book, and it ended up doing really well. So that's one of the books that I feel like has been most successful here. But I have a lot of little mini comics. I have a little mascot named Sal, who's a tiny, very angry artist who loves just getting really mad, painting something, and then just breaking it and,
Oh, wow.
and burning it, and it's how I get my anger out.
It's cathartic.
It's very
And they're
cathartic.
wordless comics.
I'll admit,
wordless,
I'm a bit
they're wordless.
alarmed at this, man. It's like, that's wow.
That's a lot,
Okay.
but
That's strong.
I'm getting it out somehow. And then I also have, just some small mini comics. Sometimes they're autobio, sometimes they're not, but that kind of thing. I also went to CCS, and that's
Nice.
how Ivy and I know each other.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that you both have that approach where certain niche things, but that's exactly how to find the right people for those kind of books.
Exactly.
To have artist perspective where they can use it. Cookbooks are a very specific thing that you don't see
Very.
commonly.
Yeah.
But then people that do want that, they're like, oh, this is great, because
Oh,
you
yes.
can't find that everywhere.
Yeah. I definitely have found that people are like, oh, I go around and I see the 3 comics cookbooks at the convention and I buy them.
Nice,
and it's
yeah.
like, oh wow.
You don't get really territorial about it?
Like, who's this person?
Yeah. What are you
Excuse
doing
me.
here? I'm
Like,
sorry.
show me
This
where the
is
book's at.
my house. What are you bringing to this?
Like, let me see this. Does their food even look good? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
No, when you say food does look good, do you mean based upon the recipe, or do you mean based upon the artwork representing the recipe?
That is a good question. I usually mean based on the artwork representing the recipe, because I found that the cookbooks I found that do, teach you how to make something, through comics, I found that the food often looks really unappetizing.
And that's key.
I don't want to
Wow.
bash other people's artwork,
Wow.
but here I am.
This
you know
is
what?
just some
It
legislation.
is what it is, yeah.
Yep. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like my cookbook has an appetizing way of presenting the food.
Now, you mentioned you're looking for other cookbooks, either to demoralize the creators or to inspire yourself. Now, what kind of comics are you looking for? If you were going to go shopping, what are you looking for?
I like to find things that, I'm always looking for artwork that I find really impressive. I love looking for short fiction. I love a good black and white artwork. It's not always easy to find people who are really doing black and white artwork and are really
Yeah, a lot of
impressive
times black
way.
and white artwork can just look like they couldn't afford color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very open
Like
and empty.
uncolored comics as opposed to comics that are intended.
Yeah,
to be
so
black
what
and
I really like to find are comics that are for black and white,
Yes.
and I love to find that. I also love to find things that are just nicely made objects.
Yeah.
I'm easily sold a book that just is nicely made or is intriguing in one way or another.
Are there any types of comics where you're looking to demoralize the competition, where you're looking to bring someone down?
That's where it's at.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
I feel like
Not to put you on the spot or anything at all.
I feel like there was a fish at the end of this hook, and I did not expect it. I thought we'd all laugh it off, but then you thought there was pensiveness in there.
Yeah.
There was like, I can think of a couple. I just don't want to knock those.
yes,
people.
I'm not going to name names, but
Well, no, please don't. Please don't. They could be our next interview, and it'll get really
Yes,
awkward.
yes.
Like, I don't want to call out June and her crappy perspective books, but
Is that what they
Well, no,
titled?
crappy
love
perspective books.
I love to see other people doing a short story anthology magazine, but if you're selling a lot more copies than I am, which is not hard, I will get jealous.
So there's
That's right.
you have a lot of jealousy then, because you were saying it's not hard to sell more than you. There has to be a bevy of folks that you're out there grinding, just grinding your teeth at.
This is why you need a rage character. Just work that out.
Break everything in your comic. Burn.
It might help. It might help.
Take a hammer to everything that you do.
We had a friend who could speak American Sign Language pretty well, and what we learned from them, this could be inaccurate, but it's what I remember, is that like when you would try to come up with somebody's name, you would tend to just do their first initial and then some sort of characteristic that kind of goes with an initial. And somewhat ironically, but also embraced at times, I was Joe Rage. And it was like I could be wrong, guys. Don't judge me. It was like Joe Rage, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I enjoy knowing that. So that's what I feel like you. This is your rage.
It's the rage.
I hope not. I don't like to think of myself as a fundamentally angry person. I don't think I am. but-
We will.
Only the viewing public. Don't worry about it.
We
Yeah.
won't tell anyone. We won't.
Just between us and everybody.
Now I'm presuming you've been to the show before.
Yes.
Times, yes.
This is my third time exhibiting and fifth time being here.
Nice.
When you came here the first time, was it because maybe you weren't able to get a spot to exhibit, or you were just coming as an attendee?
I was just coming as an attendee. I mean, I didn't really have anything at the time that I could sell, so it didn't even occur to me to try. I just knew it was the place to be.
That's what they say nowadays.
Yeah. So, yeah, that would have been that was in 2018, and yeah, I came and I really enjoyed it, and I haven't missed one since.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we were just telling the friend earlier, like that was our exact experience. We came when we were like
I
teenagers.
feel like you're only bringing it up so you could brag.
Not at all. Not at all.
Oh yeah, when we came to the first one that we ever attended in 1997, and then we've been ever since.
But yeah, well, we don't even make comics anymore, so it's not really a brag.
No, we don't make comments.
We're
We're not.
cartoonists.
We so
We
we had a
never
similar
really were.
experience in that we came to the first one that we'd attended, and we were inspired by both the good, but even more so the bad comics that we saw, because and this is genuine. We felt better about making bad comics because we knew that we could probably make something better than some of these people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Straight up.
And I don't know if we ever actually achieved that, but that got us through the hard times.
They were good enough.
They were good, they were good
Circles
enough to
back
exist.
the let me see what else is out there.
Yeah.
And, am I doing a better job?
Well, that reminds me of the cookbook thing. So we did stick figure comics, and there was a guy named Matt Fiesel, and we weren't really familiar with his work, but he did stick figure comics. And every person we gave our comic to, they were like, "Oh, have you shown this to Matt Fiesel? He would love this." And we're thinking, "Who the hell is this Matt Fiesel guy?
He's gonna
hate
shit out of us.
He's
gonna be like, "What are you doing?
You're stepping in.
What shit is this?"
There's not a lot of us. Why are you eating my dinner?"
And finally, we made it to his table, and we're like, So we do, and he loved it. He was so nice. He's the nicest person you will ever meet.
He actually traded with our comics,
Yeah.
even though they were just black and white stick figure comics. They were printed pristinely on the
Far
most
superior.
brightest white paper you can have, with the darkest blacks. And he was like, "This thing you made on the basement office copier at your job is of equal value to this."
Yes.
Somehow.
Cartoonists tend to be very gracious. Like I remember my first year, I went up to Dennis Kitchen, who I was big admirer of, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy this." He was like, "You're a cartoonist, right? I'll just do a trade with you." And I was like, "That's too embarrassing. Like I'm not gonna give you my
Sir, no.
scene that I self-made, self-printed at CCS in the basement for this beautiful book that you wrote that's actually nice. And he was like, no, this is of equal value. I was like, I was going to sell this for like $7. This is a $25 book. And he was like, no, it's not a problem. So
That's
I do
amazing.
feel like there are...
That's really sweet.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he just gave me a bunch of free shit. And I was like, thank you. And there are people who are like, if you say, hey, I really love your stuff, and you show that you know, have knowledge of it, people really usually respond.
Yeah.
You know, it's a really nice community, for sure.
Is there anybody here that you guys would like to meet that you haven't yet? To maybe create a sort of symbiotic relationship.
You know, I
Like,
really
I really like
haven't
your
had a
comics.
whole lot of time yet to look and see who's here.
Yeah.
It is
I
pretty
mean,
early, yes.
I'm sure there will be people who
I feel
I'll
like,
be
again, you're
excited.
just
I mean,
saying
that's-
that for nicety.
That's how it always is at this show, though. I mean,
Yeah,
I
no,
remember the
it's-
first time I was here, I was be walking around like, that's so-and-so, like right there.
Famous
And
people,
Yeah.
And plus, there's the people you've never heard of that just make something really neat.
Yeah, even
Oh
more
yeah,
so.
I mean, yeah,
that's much
I've encountered a lot of artists here for the first time who I've hadn't heard of before, and then I see their book and I'm like, this is an amazing book, you must sell it to me, and then
True.
then I start following them, and then I see them at other shows.
Now, when you say following, we know the rage. So we just need to make sure this is only on social
We're
media.
not
Yes.
talking about stalking here.
Social
Wow.
media,
Just to be clear,
news
for
articles.
Like,
legal-
what
for
other
legal
felonies are
purposes,
we
not
going to
stalking.
capture on this?
I don't know where this rage version of me has come from.
Oh, no,
though. I
it's
don't- I
totally
don't
made
think she
up. But,
exists.
but trust me, I'm running with it till I trip.
This has totally been imposed upon you. Don't
As
make a
long as we're
mistake.
clear that it's a bit.
I was like, okay, please, everyone should know. I'm like, oh no, I'm not kidding. Like, I'm about to
Straight up rage.
about to take this.
I don't want to
Wait,
develop
you don't
a
want to be
reputation
rage?
as a
I'll be
mean
more
person.
rage.
For everyone. No problem.
I do think that both of us are pretty approachable people.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm not going to I mean, that's why we draw comics, though, is like you have to get some things out in the comics that you're not going to necessarily get out on a real person, right?
Makes sense.
And sometimes you have frustrations. I don't want to take those out on people, but a healthy way to process those things and get them out is to draw about them, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we've told this story. If you've watched any of our interviews before, you might have heard this story. And we've told it already this weekend.
Like last night.
When we
But-
let out some rage in a comic form because it was impolite and just uncouth
Yeah.
to share it in person. But a guy in real life got on our nerves to a degree that after we encountered him, we just kept talking about how awful he was and how much we disliked him.
God, I hate that guy.
And then
I
it's
wish
some-
he would this and that. And then we were like, these are some good lines. We should make a comic
So
out
then
of
we
this.
just made
Wow,
a
these
whole
are zingers.
comic where
Yeah.
it's two stick figures talking about what they would like to do to this unnamed person
Yeah.
that in real life has a name, and when we tell it all for recording, it has a name. But then what was great was we did it about 2 or 3 weeks before the show, and at the show, because in his mind we're pals, he bought a copy. He bought a
Now
copy of
everyone
his.
watching this is going to be like,
He
who?
bought a copy of his own little
He
hate
bought a copy.
manifesto.
Yes. I had no idea it was about him.
My gosh.
And that's my greatest professional achievement.
Wow. That's a coup.
You've had
That's
you've
really
had a
amazing.
steady job for like 20 years,
Nothing-
and
nothing will ever compare.
That-
your
this is
greatest
the-
professional
Nothing.
achievement is
the
this.
high.
Yeah,
Wow.
career pays the bills. That's the one that
That pays
puts
your.
my spirit on top.
Would you two like to answer mystery questions?
I would
so
love to
ready.
answer. I'd love to answer mystery questions.
Yes.
Fantastic. Let's bring in the mystery machine of mystery questions. Now it does require a quarter.
Luckily,
So to satisfy that, we have with it the little quarter truck
little quarter truck.
gets caught on the purple. What are you doing? That's
First
our,
time we've used these tablecloths.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Oh my gosh, this is a delightful.
Do we each get one, or do we?
Oh, no,
go
you
on?
can each get
of you,
one.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Go for it.
you want to go first?
I'll
Ed?
go first.
We recycle the quarters so the supply is endless.
Almost lost it.
Do you want me to?
I was going to say, if
Yes.
you sit the mic
Can you
down,
open
then,
it,
yeah,
please?
they can be hard.
That's a good teamwork right here.
It is.
I will not look at it for you.
All right. What is your question?
My question is, you got enough hair right now? Yeah.
Would you like more? Or would you
I'm-
like to be bereft of your hair?
I think I have an adequate amount.
You have an Oh, wow.
You're satisfied with the
That's a
amount right
satisfied level of hair.
Yeah.
Yes, I am set.
Like right now, I feel
right
like I
amount.
have too much hair.
I see what you mean, but I do
Whoa,
feel
whoa,
like
whoa! I'm not a cookbook comic.
You know what, though?
What are we doing
I think
here?
I
You're
told
not
you
wrong.
that I will no.
now. She'll let you know.
Jeez.
I do think it suits you.
I appreciate it, but I don't believe you now. So let's move on to the other mystery question. Please
right,
draw your
I'm ready.
question.
I am so ready.
You open your own.
And what, pray tell, is your question?
What's your favorite sound? Wow, that's really difficult.
Yeah, there's a lot of sounds to choose from, I've heard.
So many sounds.
There's a lot out there.
Did you think of one immediately?
Okay, one that I can think of is like when you're opening a bottle with a cork, and then it just like pops out. It's like, whoop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
almost more like the poop pop.
Yeah. That is such a good sound.
I like
It's a
that.
very satisfying
That's a good
sound.
That's like a really satisfying sound.
Good choice.
Do you think that any of its satisfaction comes from the context in which it exists?
Probably.
Yeah.
Also, you get the like reward of like probably maybe opening up a nice bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Or it's like associated with something.
Or a
specific.
ship in a bottle?
Yep.
You never know where the cork's
You
going.
never know what it could be. Yeah, but.
All right. Before we let you go, where can people find your work or be able to buy your work online?
I don't normally sell my work online, but a lot of it is available on my website for free.
Even better.
It's at ivyallie.com. That's ivyallie.com.
And you can find some of my work on Instagram at EBSCIALES. And you can go to my website, which is my name.com. And you can read some of my comics, or you can reach out to me to buy some things. But I got to get on the whole, ordering comics online kind of
okay.
thing.
As long as you're
not.
promoting
You know what?
online,
Or
that's
not.
Or not.
Yeah, we're
or
done.
not.
You're doing
know
fine.
what?
You're probably doing fine.
I am.
Now,
I'm doing.
there
I'm
is
doing very
one
well.
now final element that has been added for this year and has
Brand
not
new.
existed before. And so we don't know how this is going to go, but folks, we have a prize gallery for everyone we talk to this year.
Wow.
And there's going to be an image on the screen that's going to showcase it. But for you, you look right behind you.
Oh,
Pick
You
something
can
out.
choose
gosh.
anything you would like. Now, among the items that
Any
feature
ridiculous
our,
thing.
they all
Wow.
feature our heads. Among the items that feature our head, we have a set of 4 coasters, a deck of playing cards, a camping mug. We have a pot holder that says "Too hot to handle." There is a
my
placemat. There is a jigsaw puzzle. There is a tea towel, a blanket that is too large to show here, a keepsake box in which you can keep your sakes, and then we got a mug here, a standard size mug, a pillow with our heads on it, and a shopping bag.
Oh my.
That was a thorough.
This is an
I
incredible
am tired.
amount of things to choose from.
So-
I feel like you rehearsed that list.
First time
I was
I've ever
impressed
said it.
myself.
Wow.
Yes.
It
Thanks.
was very impressive. I have to
So
say.
if you couldn't tell, I work for a printing company. So that's
I
what,
see that. Wow.
We have an aesthetic, it's our heads.
yes.
So you each
yeah,
can
pick something
please
out.
choose, and do not worry about exhausting them. We have more of everything.
Yes.
I'm going to go pot holder.
Pot
Nice.
holder,
Oh, that's a good one. I think I'm going to go for the bag.
the bag,
Nice.
excellent. Well,
functional.
I'm feeling bag. Yeah.
well,
You
you
can
know
never
what? Let's
have
just
too
go ahead
many.
and hand them their goods. Please, you can
Enjoy.
celebrate.
I'm so
I can't
excited
reach
about
the
this
pot
bag.
holder.
Go and grab it.
I don't think you can reach the pot
Should we
holder.
put these down?
You know what? We're not going to
I'll
grab
pick
it
it
on
up
camera.
after.
That's fine. It's out of
Okay.
reach. The bag was easy, guys. You just imagine
Very
what she
light.
looks like
Not all
with
this was
the happy
planned
pot
through.
holder.
Yes.
Here we go.
Oh,
There we go.
Oh my god.
Oh my God!
Fantastic.
Wow.
Already put in use.
I've heard of a hot mic, but this is a new
Yes.
definition.
This is new.
Now we can be
Amazing.
safe.
Well, thank you so much for sitting with us.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you for
us.
inviting
Yes,
us.
great.
Have a good
And for
time at
taking
the.
my insults.
Oh,
They were good.
apologize.
They were good. So
I will cry,
yeah.
but not in front of you.
He will cry in comics.
go to
Is
the
what he'll
bathroom.
do.
I
Yeah.
will cry in comics. Can't wait for the next comic I
Drawing
make.
It's going to be revenge. Yeah.
First time in
Yeah.
a decade, I'm breaking out my brush.
And then you'll sell it to me, and I'll have no idea. Yeah.
Victory
Oh no, she'll
again.
recognize you and be like, yeah.
Well, this
that
is
was-
that guy with too much
That's the guy
hair.
with a lot of hair.
Yeah. Oh, it did make him cry. Great. That's great.
This is that Bigfoot-looking motherfucker I saw
Rage,
before.
the rage. Yeah.
And
Oh.
for those of you who make short story anthology magazines, it's nothing personal. I love your work.
There you go. Just to clarify.
Those of you who make cookbooks.
I was ready to end the video, but I honestly want to keep going because that sounded like the opposite. Anyway, let's just.
That's
just
the end
call
of the
it there.
video.
There you go.
Good luck with the show. Have fun.
Thank you so much.
And thank you
Appreciate
again
it.
for talking to us.
Bye.